I got my very first investment property at the age of 26, the Dairy Farm Residences. Teddy here, I'm the co-founder of the Home Seekers team, and today I'm going to share a brand new series called Talk with Ted. And for the first episode, I'm going to share something that is very close to my heart, which is why did I actually buy Dairy Farm Residences as my first investment property? Can you imagine us realtors out there every day? We are recommending products to our clients, but if we ourselves, we don't even walk the talk, it will be very bad, ma. So that's why I share with you what did I do, so that I hope that at the end of this video, you understand certain things and learn something, gain new insights, and apply it to your own selection process. So today I'll be going through a few pointers. Firstly, why did I actually buy this project as my first investment property? Secondly, despite its location where many people think that it's actually far from everywhere. And lastly, actually how do potential home buyers / investors like yourself out there can actually apply to your own selection process. Before we get started, do give me a like so that this video can reach out to more people. So I think the common problem that many first-time homeowner or investors actually face is which product should I go for? We break down into two different segments. Okay, you can either go for HDB flat or a private property. But because this is an investment move myself, so of course we eliminate the HDB option. And for private property wise, there is different segments as well. There is new project, there is also resale property, which in the end I chose to go for a new launch project. So firstly, why and how did I end up in Dairy Farm Residences? So I have three key considerations when I'm making my property purchase. Firstly is to determine the price gap, which in broader term we also talk about entry price. Secondly, which is the developer pricing strategy, which is DPS in short. And lastly is my exit strategy. So what is price gap? Price gap basically is actually the gap between the resale prices as well as the new launch prices within the same vicinity. So to give you guys a bit of context, back in 2021 when I bought Dairy Farm Residences, the surrounding resale properties, the Skywoods and Eco Century was actually transacting at $1,408 per square feet and $1,471 per square feet respectively, right, for their two-bedders. So I entered into Dairy Farm Residences at $1,550 per square feet, which is a mere 5% gap between Eco Century and Dairy Farm Residences. Bear this thing in mind is Eco Century and Skywoods are already 9 years old from their land purchase, whereas for Dairy Farm Residences, it's less than 3 years old from their land purchase date in December 2018, making it actually a very, very safe entry price to enter with this marginal price gap between the older properties as well as the new property. Secondly, developer pricing strategy, which in short is DPS. Okay, so why is it very important for you to actually understand how developer price their product is? Because at the end of the day, developers, if you're buying brand new, right, they themselves are also businessmen. So if we can understand actually how they price their product, it will actually put us in a better position to see whether, hey, are we entering at a safe price or not. For those who don't know, right, DPS is actually segregated into 3 phases. Alright, so for phase 1, right, we are talking about less than 60% in the entire development that is being sold. For developers or for new launches that you see right now, if they are less than 60% sold, they are actually in phase 1. And phase 1 is what we call the period whereby developers are actually very eager to offload their properties due to various reasons. It's also the time whereby the developers, they themselves are also very sensitive in terms of their pricing. They don't dare to price it too high because they also want to get their sales figure in. It actually presents an opportunity for investors or homeowners to actually look clearly and see whether, hey, is this product suitable for me or not. Alright, so moving on to phase 2 is where things starts to get a little bit more interesting. Okay? Phase 2 is roughly 60 to 90% of the total sales figure that is being done in the entire development. So this is the time whereby the developers will slowly start to increase their price, which is in short, price adjustment to their existing stocks. Okay, so you will start to see like 1 to 3% price increment on the more popular unit types, or those unit types that are actually lower in the inventory, which the developer have lesser stock. Last but not least, we will actually enter into phase 3 when the sales figure actually crossed 90%. Okay, so this is the part where buyers or investors alike have to be very, very cautious. Okay, because this is the part where developers will go all out for their profits, provided they are actually not pressured by the ABSD deadline. In terms of my own purchase, I actually entered into DFR when it's about 50% sold. Assuming, right, we break this down into the 3 phases that we talked about earlier. P1, okay, which is roughly about 60%, which is this portion here. P2, right, so this is the 60 to 90%, and P3, okay, so this is less than 60%, this is 60 to 90%, and this is above 90% sold. So I entered, like I mentioned, roughly when it's about 50% sold, which is somewhere around this region at $1,550 per square feet. Subsequently, not long after I bought into Dairy Farm Residences, the developers start to stage up their price by introducing price increment, 1%, 2% based on different unit types. Okay, that's why you can see actually the price starts to soar in this area. And last but not least, right, the last few units to be sold in Dairy Farm Residences actually achieved such high PSF at up to $1,999 per square feet. Right, so actually by understanding the developer pricing strategy, right, you choose to enter early to avoid paying a premium towards the end. So that's why it's very important for home buyers like yourself to understand which stage are you entering at. So we move on to the third, and what I feel is the most important consideration was actually the exit strategy. If let's say today I buy into Dairy Farm Residences, how confident am I to offload this property in the future? Dairy Farm Residences was actually the first out of 8 residential plots in the master plan zone for the area. So being the first and only mixed development in the area, I think it will actually give an edge over other properties when it comes to the resale market. At the same time, the GRS tender for the Botany, which was directly beside Dairy Farm Residences, actually wasn't awarded yet. It's a good thing because based on the 2022 market sentiment, an OCR project like this, right, is expected to launch in the range about $1,008 to $1,009 per square feet. So true enough, in March 2023, when the Botany launched, it actually launched at the average per square feet about well above 2,000 for its 2-bedroom units. So actually in hindsight, making it a very, very safe investment for people who actually enter into Dairy Farm Residences on an average about $1,005 to $1,006 per square feet. So the cycle actually continues as the third plot in Dairy Farm vicinity was actually awarded to Santari Realty and Apex Asia Development in January this year at $1,020 per square feet per plot ratio, which may loosely translate to roughly about $2,225 per square feet for its launch price on average. Being the first mover in this area actually presents a very clear exit strategy for dairy farm owners to actually exit in the resale market with huge price margin between the upcoming projects as well as new benchmark being set by this new project. So those who are looking into this area in dairy farm, they may actually find that the dairy farm pricing might be actually quite attractive for people to enter into. Alright, so then there will be this question about where exactly is Dairy Farm Residences? It's actually in District 23 and it's about 15 minutes walk away from the nearest MRT station, which is Hillview MRT station. So many people will think that it's actually very ulu lah. It's not exactly near to MRT station. You still need to take a bus, etc, etc. But then again, there are past records from projects which are also quite a distance away from MRT station, but they actually make more profit than those that are near to MRT station. So if you want to know more about actually how being near to MRT station or not being near to MRT station can actually affect a property price, do comment down below so that I can make a video about this as well. So I'm just going to share with you guys also a little bit in terms of how did I benefit myself as a first-time buyer. First of all is that I actually benefited from the first mover advantage by entering into this area whereby it's the first plot of land, mixed development and subsequent land plots that actually sold at a higher price, launched at a higher price. Secondly, I also leveraged on the progressive payment, which I didn't actually mention too much in the earlier part of this video. So progressive payment is only applicable for new launches. For a first-time homeowner or first-time investor, right, because of the down payment itself, you may have already forked out quite a fair bit or you have already wiped out your savings. So progressive payment not only can just help you manage in terms of your monthly repayment, at least it gives you a little bit more buffer for you to save up more money, and when it hits TOP and where the loan is actually fully dispersed, at least you can have a buffer or set aside certain amount of money that can help you with the monthly installments already. Last but not least, I also benefited from the developer pricing strategy. That's very, very important because I think nobody wants to lose money from buying a property, and buying the right property, putting yourself and entering at the right stage, right, you can actually ride on this pricing strategy by the developers and give you a certain edge when you are selling your property in the near future. Just a quick example is that I actually helped a client of mine to purchase Lentor Central Residences 2 weekends ago. On the day itself, the developer actually from phase 1 all the way go out until phase 3 already. Yeah, because on the launch day itself, it sold about 98%, which is almost fully sold. Being able to understand how DPS actually affect you as a homeowner puts you in a better position whether should I enter, or if I enter at this stage right now, how will it affect my exit in the future. So at the end of the day, me myself, I choose a brand new project. Doesn't mean that it is suitable for any of you out there. So what we really need to do is actually to sit down, have a proper discussion and see what actually worked best for me in this time frame that I'm looking at. If I'm looking to let go of my property in a 3 to 5 years time frame, what option is better for me? From 5 to 10 years, what other product is better for me? Alright, so again, if you like this video, so do give me a like, share and subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that you will be notified if there's any upcoming videos that I'll be posting. So see you guys soon. Cheers.